Gentlemen, it's a little darker than usual today. This isn't the best, my best quality setup, but I don't think that's necessary for what we're going to be talking about today. And with the momentum I have on this YouTube channel, the momentum I have with my physical training still growing, getting bigger completely naturally every single day, and relaying that to you guys and helping you guys with that, I want to make this video about almost making it, about the days or the period of time. It's an elusive period of time when you almost are at your goals, when you're almost at that success, right? Like maybe you're like a week or two away of workouts that you don't want to do. You're a week or two of those away from never missing a day in the gym again and solidifying that true passion. Or I'm 3, YouTube videos away from my information catching fire, completely changing the game. And I feel like I'm at that point right now, and I'm going to tell you why I feel that way and how you know if you're about to make it. And you guys watch me because you guys know. If you don't, I'm a fitness coach. I help guys get in the greatest mental shape and physical shape possible in a world designed to keep them soft, man. The world wants us to be soft. And if you guys know anything about me, you know that that's absolutely the case. And I'm the machine fighting against that for you guys. And I love each and every one of you guys. And I want to be as real as I can and authentically tell you guys how I feel. And I want to provide some value to you because I know some of you guys might need that reassurance. You might need that. You might be feeling the same thing as me. You might be feeling like it's hopeless. But that's how you know when you're about to make it big time. So let me take it back to when I was first getting consistent in the gym, consistent with lifting. I wasn't somebody who picked it up right away or played a sport in high school that we had to lift for and just kind of fell into habit. That wasn't me at all. I never ever lifted weights really as a kid. I played a bunch of sports. I played baseball, basketball, football, but we never like lifted outside of practice or anything like that, right? And I was always somebody who, I watched like WWE as a kid. I watched John Cena flying around and The Rock, and you guys have seen the meme where it's John Cena versus The Rock. Like I remember when that match was actually happening. Like that was what I looked up to as a kid. So I always wanted like big arms, and I always wanted a physically dominating physique and big traps like I'm very blessed with now. And, those are the things that I always wanted. And I remember when I first started to lift, I had these like old ass Facebook Marketplace weights in my basement, right? And it was dirty. I never listened to music. I didn't have pre-workout. I didn't even know what caffeine was. And I hated it. I hated it for a long time. And I remember there was a few times where I'd lift, every other day, and I did it for about 2 or 3 months, and then I'd stop. And I would just deal with the pain of like it'd be 2 or 3 months after that period, I think, damn, like, imagine if I kept doing it I kept doing it, I never stopped 3 months ago, where would I be now? I'd have big arms, or I'd have this, I'd have that. And I would always like compare that. I'd be like, damn, like, was the 3 months of just not lifting because I was being a bitch, like, was that actually worth not having the results? I could literally have them right now. Those 3 months are gone. They're in the past. They don't affect me right now. I could literally be the same person, feeling the same way, but have the results I wanted. Have the big arms. Have the, 6-pack abs. Have the big traps. Big shoulders. And I remember internalizing that. That was a big turning point for me, internalizing that feeling. And I also remember trying again and lifting, and I did it for about 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And I remember like I actually started to get some progress. I had a little bit of muscle memory left over from sports and lifting the first time. And I remember somebody said to me, who sees me all the time, said, "Hey Tanner, your chest, like it actually looks like you have some like pec type muscles going on," which like might not sound like a lot to you guys right now, but at the time, like just having like a little bit of a pec muscle, like damn, like that was progress. That was like, oh shit, like, that was a big deal, And a lot of you guys probably feel that way now if you haven't really gotten in the process, but that's a big deal. And I remember I had a pump at the time, and I had just finished a workout, and this is before I even knew what a pump was. Like this is in the beginning stages, man. And I remember I literally stopped working out after that. Not because of that, but I remember that was like one of the last consistent workouts I had in that period. And I lost it all. And I stopped and I got skinny. And I remember thinking again, like, holy shit, you are an idiot, Tanner. You literally started to make progress. You were convicted that what you're doing was working, and you still gave up. And you still stopped. What the hell am I doing? And I remember thinking to myself, I will never let that happen again. And this was right after in 2020 when we're all sent home from school and everything. We had so much time on our hands. This is kind of right when we're getting back into school. It was like September. And as we got into like October, November, I remember thinking like, mind you, it had been months since I even touched weights. I remember thinking like, holy crap, I don't even have time to lift anymore. If I ever get the time, if school ever gets shut down again, anything like that ever happens, I will lift every single day forever. And if the very next day, or maybe 2 days after, school got shut down again in November because of a spike in whatever was going on back then. And school got shut down again. I remember I got sent home because I had it actually, but school got shut down. And I said to myself that night, I said, well, I guess I better hit the weights in the morning. So I woke up and I went downstairs in my basement. I hit the weights and I still hated it. And I have a picture from that day, if I can remember to put it in here. So I looked like when I started. I had a picture from that day that I took because I knew deep down within my soul, I had already failed twice. I had already deeply internalized what it feels like to give up on the goals. And it was not serving me. The pain of giving up on the goals was at this point, much deeper than the pain of hitting a lift when I didn't want to. And I still hated it though. I still didn't enjoy it at all yet. But I remember taking a picture and saying, okay, I'll look back at this picture someday and this will be my day one. Which sounds really cool, right? But in the moment that sucked because I was living in the moment of it being day one. I was living in the moment of zero progress, which sucks, but I did it anyways. And I remember about a month into that, it was about winter break at this point, Christmas was coming up, I started to notice some progress again. I had this one old Under Armour t-shirt it was like a small. It was too small for me before I even started lifting. I'm a tall guy, so smalls don't really fit me. I was probably about 6 foot then. I'm probably like 6'1" now. And I remember putting on the shirt and my arms, I could just feel it, kind of the sleeve hugging my arms a little bit better. And I could see it, and you could see a little tricep muscle, a little bicep. And I was like, oh my gosh, I cracked the code. I'm doing it. And this time, I still didn't enjoy it, but I knew the discipline, the foundation was laid. The foundation was there. And I remember about a month and a half later, school came back. It was just after winter break, and we had it was like tech school. So it was still high school, but before the day you would go to technical center and I would work on cars and stuff because that's the class I did. But beforehand, there was a common area, commons where people could hang out, talk, chat, do this and that. And I remember I saw a girl that liked me before the break, but she kind of did me a little bit bold. Nothing crazy, but we just kind of stopped talking. And I remember pulling up to school in that shirt that I'm talking about. And I walked over and I remember standing right next to her. I was talking to my friends, but I was standing right next to her. And she had a private story on Snapchat. And as crazy, as corny as this sounds, I'm going to tie this back in, I promise. I remember standing there and she kind of just looked at me and I noticed, but I didn't think much of it. But later, while I was working out after class that day, I was kind of pumped up because I was like, yeah, I'm starting to feel good. Guys, look, I got muscles now, a little bit. And I remember saying damn, I wonder if she noticed me. And I opened Snapchat and she has this private story and it said, wow, if this guy that I have a crush on doesn't look fine as hell right now, wow, he looks fine. I remember seeing that fuck yeah, it's fucking paying off. It's fucking paying off. I remember thinking that, man, and I threw my phone down and hit my next set and probably did 4 more reps than I could normally do. I was so pumped. My adrenaline was rushing. All that work I'd put in, all that energy had expelled in that one moment. And from that moment on, I knew what I was doing was working. I was vindicated, and I combined that with the pain I know I would have to go through if I gave up. There was no reason for me to give up after that. It didn't even cross my mind. And I still was able to do it while I hated it. And that is the point of this video. Because if you don't love it yet, if you don't have the passion yet, and I talk about passion in all my videos, if you don't have that yet, that's okay. That's normal, okay? You are not always going to have that passion. But what you have to have is the feeling that you can feel deep within your soul of how you'll feel once you get the result, and the man it takes to get that result, what it takes to build that man, combined with what's going to happen if I fail. How am I going to feel if I fail? I'm just going to feel like a bitch. I'm just going to be the same person I'll be, but with smaller muscles. I might as well fucking earn the bigger muscles. I ain't got nothing else to do. And if you don't have big muscles, you ain't really got nothing else to do. Make all the money you want. You could be fucking Bill Gates. You think Bill Gates looks in the mirror and is happy with himself? He's got billions and billions of dollars, but he's a fat fuck. Or like a skinny fat fuck. You know what I'm saying? His wife divorced him because he doesn't take care of his body. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care about any of that. You need to take your body seriously. And if you don't, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. And you'll always feel the pain that you think you can alleviate with money and maybe a girlfriend, something like that. It'll never go away if you don't take care of yourself. Your girl's going to leave you. Your boss is going to choose the guy that looks like me to promote instead, even if I don't do the job as well. It's the sad reality of the world. And I don't say this to like make fun of you guys or like be brash or harsh or brag. I say this because I love you guys and I want you guys to improve and I want you guys to take your health and fitness seriously. That's my whole point. That's my whole point of life, man. That's all I do. So I work on my business and I fucking hit the gym and I teach guys and I try to spread as much knowledge as I can for free. Now, I have a Calendly. If you want to fucking talk to me and actually maybe work with me and be one of my guys, I'd be happy to talk to you. You can fill that out now, but I'm not even trying to sell you on that because I just want you guys to watch my free videos first. I want you guys to watch all my free stuff. Check out my Instagram where I post every day. That's also in the description. And you're also free to shoot me DMs if you have any questions because I love each and every one of you guys. And that's how you really know, though, that you're about to make it. When you have that feeling of failure, when you know what it's going to feel like to fail, you can internalize how shitty that feeling is, actually understand. That's why I just told you the story. There's a method to my madness. I told you this story so you can deeply internalize what it's like when you haven't achieved your goals. You can reflect upon that, and then you can combine that with, I actually want to become the man who has big biceps. I want to become the man who can walk up to any girl and at least be confident even if he's been rejected 100 times before. Okay? That's what this gives you because you're just building respect for yourself. You understand? And you guys know that. With all that being said, though, if you watch this entire video in the dark with the shitty quality, some idiot yelling in a fucking wife beater in his car, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. You guys are all legends. And I need you guys to apply and implement this knowledge because if you don't, it's useless. If you have any questions, let me know. But good luck to you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and God bless.